Hello everyone, welcome to our second episode. So let me just explain exactly what we're doing here. So as many of you suggested, I need to have a podcast. I need somewhere where you can go back and find more information about what I was talking about certain times of days and certain topics, especially the main topics. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. So we're practicing with Jordana again. And this time we have mics, we have better lighting.
Yes.
We took in your suggestions.
We get better with each time, apparently.
And I am live with you, and I can actually read your questions and answer your questions directly, because one of the comments I got last time was that I did not answer the live questions, although I am here live. So the topic today, is sadness and depression. One of the things that I've been getting a lot of questions on this week specifically is really about sadness and depression and the difference, and when do you need to go see a therapist, and when is it just something that is just sad, temporary, and you'll basically get over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the difference? I never actually thought of even that question. In the depression, sadness to me are all in one.
No, it's not the same.
Okay.
Because when you are depressed and when you're truly depressed, you do need help. Because that thing is, you become stuck.
Okay.
Okay. Not only do you become stuck, sometimes you actually do need medication. So therapy itself won't be enough.
But how do you know you've gotten to the stage where you now need help? Or how do you know your level of sadness that khalas, okay, this is your cutoff, you need to seek help?
I think one of the most things that you should understand, it should be prolonged. It wouldn't be temporary. Okay? So loss of energy, lack of wanting to interact with people.
Okay.
And it has to be something that's not within your norms. And suicidal thoughts, and when I say suicidal thoughts, I'm like actually really thinking about, what if I just do this? Okay, so it's not just randomly you're driving and thinking, oh shit, what if I crash, what will happen? No, but actual true suicidal thoughts and contemplating about the repercussion of the suicide. And lack of appetite. So there's a lot of things. Lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is a main thing. So
can people be generally during their day-to-day quite happy and everything, and then have these kind of underlying issues and not realize?
Not really. If you're depressed, you wouldn't realize. Okay. If you're depressed, you feel heavy. You feel you can't breathe. You feel just like a sadness, but that just won't ever go away. To the point after a while, it kind of becomes like a numb sadness. Okay. So it's not like I had a bad day, I'm sad.
Yeah, obviously, as you said, it's prolonged, so it's going to be continuing. But then, okay, so let's say, for those people that get to that kind of stage, or they feel like that's it, we're really hitting it, is there anything that they can not preempt or pre-do before reaching therapy? I mean, there are other things, I assume,
Of course. Nutrition is very important.
For depression?
For depression, yes. Because the thing is, when we say depression is a chemical imbalance.
Yes.
Okay, these chemicals, where do you think they're produced? They're produced within our guts. Okay. So they're produced in our guts. Our guts are where we digest and where we take all these nutrients from. So if we don't eat the right foods, then we cannot produce these hormones that are needed. Okay?
I'm not convinced.
You're not convinced?
I'm not convinced at all.
So think about it. You eat.
Yes.
Where does the food go?
In my stomach.
In your stomach, isn't? And where do these hormones get produced? I just told you, in your guts.
Yes.
Your gut produces the neurotransmitters needed from neuron to neuron to make it have
but what
enough.
are you going to eat? Are there happy foods and sad foods?
No, not happy. It's healthy foods. So when you promote healthiness, when you promote
because when I'm sad, if I eat sugar, I feel much better.
For a while.
Yes.
And then you have a very deep low.
Yes.
This is
but
how
if
nutrition
I eat vegetables, it never makes me feel happy.
It doesn't make you feel happy right now. This is the problem with now. A lot of people now, they want instant gratification.
Yes, in everything.
When you're doing therapy, when you're doing stuff like that, when you're trying to promote happiness, and this is the problem. Promoting happiness is also a problem. It is not normal to be all the time happy. People have to understand that you won't be 100% happy all the time.
And those people that are happy or pretending to be happy all the time are very annoying.
Yeah, it's not normal.
They really are.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be happy, sad, bored, numb, nothing sometimes. Okay, and that's the normality. And I think the idea of a lot of these self-care books and a lot of these books promote happiness, that even people that are not sad or depressed feel that there's something missing. I have so many people coming to my therapy room that have nothing wrong with them. And I tell them, there's nothing wrong with you. It is normal not to be happy 24/7
Okay, but hold on. You have people that have come to see a therapist, but there's nothing wrong with them. So why do they... But
they think something is wrong because of the pressure of happiness. It is so in the media right now that you have to be happy, that when you're not constantly happy, people feel that there's something missing, that they need help on, so that they can be more happy.
So what do you do with those people, the people that come to you and you tell them
I explain. I just explain what it is and how it is.
What if they disagree?
They can come to therapy. I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind, but I be very, very honest about where they are, what they need. So we said about nutrition. Also, we have exercise. Exercise is so important. So you're thinking about, wait, how do I promote these hormones to gain? How do I gain these hormones? Exercise is one way to gain these hormones.
Okay.
Because when you exercise, obviously, you have dopamine, endorphins, oxytocins, all these hormones that actually help you and promote your mental health, for you to have a balanced mental health.
Okay, so as a starting point, so someone feels like they're not depressed, but they're constantly sad, or they're getting to that level. So change your diet.
Definitely.
Start to exercise.
Start exercising. And when I talk about exercise, I'm talking about exercises that challenge your mind. Okay? I usually say 30 minutes of exercise, but if you're a runner and you're used to jogging, 30 minutes exercise is not going to challenge you. It's about reaching that point where you feel it's your limit and going beyond it. Okay, there's a sense of achievement that you gain. When you're doing your set of weights, imagine you're doing your weights and you say, I can't do anymore, and going beyond it. That's the type of exercise I'm talking about. Or for instance, yoga, because it's a mental struggle when you're doing yoga. Doing these certain positions that you do in yoga. These are the type of exercises I'm promoting. Okay,
but do you think that it actually helps combat it? As you said, obviously everyone knows the exercise raises endorphins and stuff, or is it just distracting you from what's making you sad?
No, it distracts, yes, but the thing about when you're sad, you snowball into deeper sadness.
Yes, and everything then seems horrible.
And everything horrible becomes worse, the feeling becomes worse, your behavior becomes worse, and it just snowballs into something bigger. Now, if you exercise, what that do, first of all, you're cutting that behavior of not moving, because that's what you feel. You feel like you don't want to move. It forces you out. But already you've changed a behavior. Okay. And then it strengthens your mind so that you're able to get out of that snowball and change your thoughts. Because it's your thoughts. Thoughts causes emotions. Emotions cause behavior. These behavior cause more thoughts, and you go into that snowball. So if we are able to change that dynamic, then it's like you're starting all over again. So instead of it being a deep depression, you'll always be kind of on the surface.
Okay, so once they've started doing those things, like they've changed the exercise, they've done the nutrition, then do you suggest, if they still continue to feel sad, to then go talk to someone, or you advise?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
definitely talk to someone, come to a therapist, come to a coach, go to a life coach. I don't know, anyone. The thing is, one of the major causes of depression is loneliness. One of the things, whenever I sit in a therapy, it's not loneliness being alone, it's being understood and feeling validated. Okay, you can still be between 20 people around you and feel lonely.
Yes, they say that when you walk into a full room and still feel lonely.
Yeah, and you could be with a bunch of friends and feel lonely. Okay, you can be with your family and feel lonely. Loneliness doesn't mean just being completely separated. You can feel lonely even without being separated. Actually, research has shown with social media, people feel more lonely than they've ever been.
People want so
before.
much gratification on social media. I don't understand that. Like I has
Because you get dopamine.
Yeah, but I feel. What do you mean?
Dopamine is the drug that you get when through drugs.
Yes.
Is dopamine.
Yeah.
You get your dopamine when people press likes, when
Seriously?
people validate you. Yes. And so this is why people straight away look. It becomes very addictive to see how many likes you have, to see how many views you have, to see if you have comments.
How do people get out of that? I know so many people. Okay, I don't know personally, but when I read and stuff, let's say online about, we talked about last time about bullying and stuff. A lot of it comes from this social media and who liked my photo and you didn't like my photo. I know people, actual people I know يتهاوشون على هالسالفة. How can you get yourself out of that cycle of not caring so much?
I think one of the main things is what I do. I'm in the social media and I'm not going to change that. Social media is a big part of where I work,
yes.
what I do, how I extend myself to others. But I would suggest I do first thing in the morning for 1 hour, don't touch your social media. 1 hour after you wake up and 1 hour before you sleep.
Yes.
Okay? The thing is, if you give yourself the high, the first time when you first wake up, that sets the record for the rest of the day. Okay? And then what happens is you feel the need for it the whole time. It's like when you drink coffee first thing in the morning, you're gonna keep craving that coffee because you'll get your lows and then you need it again, and you get your lows and you need it again, and you get your lows and you need another high, and you need it to keep pushing you up. Well, if you're addicted to anything, don't do it the first thing you wake up and don't do it before you sleep.
Okay, so it doesn't play on your mind kind of thing?
Yeah, the addiction kind of changes and becomes a different type.
Okay, what about people, speaking of depression, okay, so a lot of people or a lot of books and stuff, these are the signs of depression. But you see lately, like celebrities and stuff, or even other people, if you even Google like non-normal faces of depression, you see people that seem genuinely happy, and then you get shocked to hear like they have depression issues. Well, how do those people even know that they're depressed when the people around them don't know?
They do. The people around them don't know. Okay. They do. We have to put a face. We need to put a face. I can laugh and really just feel in pain. I can just pretend to be with you and to be around you, but I'll be in pain. One thing, for someone to notice other people that have depression, I would say, how distracted are they? How much are they taking when you talk to them? How much are they in their mind? The more depressed people are completely in their mind. They have a very hard time removing themselves from inside and coming out.
Okay.
And
how can you help them? Like as non-therapist, as a friend or as a person, if I'm someone who suspects someone's depressed.
Validate.
Just something
validate.
Awesome?
No. Validate their feelings. Okay? A lot of times we learned to be very uncomfortable with sadness. If someone cries in front of us, we just want them to feel better. We just like, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine. Let me replace it. Let's make this better. And we're not allowing the emotions to just be.
You guys, once I was in a khalaf with Iman. I just remember this now. I was in a khalaf with Iman, and the girl whose khalaf we were in, she was like sobbing, and one of her friends came up to her and was hugging her and was like, don't cry, khalas, it's okay, she's in a better place. And Iman's like, no, let her cry, let her get it out, don't tell her no.
Yeah, I hate going to funerals because of this. The idea that you should be over the death of someone so fast is ridiculous. Grieving is a process. Yes, they'll be angry. Yes, they will say things that might be inappropriate or don't make sense. But the idea is this is what your mind needs to get over it and accept what happened. Whenever there's something tragic, trauma happens, your brain actually moves.
Yeah.
These neurons lost their connections. They have to make these connections again. And to make these connections again and for all the chemicals to balance again, you have to go through those emotions. And if you don't, then you will stay grieving, and then you'll be the one driving your car home and suddenly crying for no reason.
Oh, okay.
So we have a question, our first question. Yay!
I'm so excited.
Okay, is depression contagious?
Oh.
The energy that people that are depressed, you can say is contagious. It's not contagious as in because you're depressed, I'll be depressed.
Not like an illness.
No, then I wouldn't be able to do therapy with people that are depressed.
Oh, that's true.
But it does have a genetic aspect to it, okay?
Oh,
Some
really?
people could be more prone to depression.
Because their mother or grandfather or whatever suffered
could
from
be
it.
more
Okay.
prone to depression than others.
Okay.
Okay. And the energy that you go when someone is depressed can drain you.
Yes, that I
And
agree.
so you
always
can
hear about
feel
negative
drained.
energy.
Yeah, but you can feel very drained with someone that is depressed. But you won't necessarily get depressed yourself. The thing is, I would suggest if you do have a friend that is depressed and you want to help them, empathize but don't sympathize. Don't put
Elaborate.
yourself in their shoe.
Okay.
That's the first mistake people do. That's how you get depressed yourself. Because if you start thinking like them, you will feel the same emotions that they do.
And also, you don't know what they're going through, so don't pretend to either. That also is quite annoying.
And so, but this is why I say empathize. Empathizing means understand it.
Okay.
Okay, validate it, and give it its position. But don't be them.
Okay.
Okay. So we have another question. What are the causes of serious concern in any case of depression? The biggest concern of depression is not depression itself, but it's the suicidal thoughts. And if someone is very, very depressed and does not get help, whether within the family structure, it doesn't need to be therapy, whether it's in the family structure, whether it's a coach, whether it's a religious person that you want to go to, it's whatever feels right for you. It's suicidal thoughts.
Okay.
And if you have a friend that's depressed, please don't be scared to ask, have you ever considered committing suicide? Okay? You're not bringing that idea in their mind. Trust me, if they're depressed, they've thought of it.
But if they're okay, then my question is, if they're depressed and they have thought of it, and you're asking that question, depending on their level of depression, won't they think that I'm trying to say, يعني من كثر ما you're depressing and annoying? Go commit
Then
suicide?
you'll be.
I don't want to be the cause.
No, you're not going to be the cause. But at that point, they might feel comfortable to talk to you about
And then
it.
open up, yeah.
This is what happens, is a lot of people didn't even know. People commit suicide or people attempt committing suicide. They don't even know they were depressed. Or because we tap around these major issues as if they're not real, or we're scared to talk. We're so uncomfortable with these negative emotions that when we encounter them, we don't know what to do and we become awkward. And we don't understand that awkwardness plays, what does it play in the other person's mind?
Okay, so for us as the outside people, how can we get better at empathy then for the people around?
Validate and listen.
Okay.
They don't need your advice.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
You don't
I
know what they're going through, and don't pretend like you know, because it's nothing like sadness. Okay? You don't know. But you listen and you understand. Okay? So it's not the same as a lot of people say, oh, it's the same as last time. No, it's not the same.
Okay. Each
The
time
reason why it's not the same, because you're fine now. And they're not.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You did not, you might have slept in for 3 days because you were grieving, but on the 4th day you got yourself up and
You went
moved.
out and you were fine.
Okay? And they're not able to get themselves to walk out. They don't have the energy. They don't have, can you see how draining they are to you? Imagine how draining they are to themselves.
Hey, that's so true.
Okay? They really cannot. They're not pretending, they're not making excuses. And that's what makes it worse, is when we make them feel bad for being depressed.
Okay.
You know, we empower them, we work on not finding solutions. A lot
So
of
just
people want to
supporting
find,
them as much
just
as you can.
supporting them and being there for them, and letting them know that if they need to talk to someone, that you will be there.
Okay.
It might not be your favorite thing to do, okay, but you will be there listening.
If you love them, suck it up and be there. But going back, I know there's another question, but going back to the other guys, so the other question. So they asked about the greatest cause. So you think that's the final part, the biggest issue with depression is the kind of wanting to end your life thing?
Yeah, I think that's the scary part, because that was the question. What was the scary part about depression?
Okay.
That's the scary part about depression. How to spot a depressed person other than they are always in their zone and it's difficult to go out, like you previously said.
That's
Changing
a very
character.
good question. Very, very good question.
Changing character.
Okay, but change how? Like
They're
مثال.
not who they were.
In what sense?
In many, many
Can
senses.
it be the tiniest thing?
Yeah, ask. There's nothing wrong with asking.
But some
Are
people
you okay?
But Okay, but if you ask, okay, so let's say, for example, the person that asked the question, they have a friend that they suspect might be depressed, and then they ask them, are you okay? And the person goes, yeah, like someone asks me, and let's say I'm going through extreme sadness. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Nothing, just a bad day at work. It's okay. Then what?
Then there isn't that trust that they can talk to you.
No, but
You need to open up, and it's fine if you're not okay, and I'm willing to listen if you're not okay.
yeah,
Okay?
I mean, I would say, I'm thinking now, if my friend said that to me, like said okay, I would like them maybe to come back to me and say, well, if something's wrong, let me know, or I'm here for you.
I'm
or
here for you.
something.
Just remember that it's okay not to be okay, and I understand that could be a possibility. He or she is not a friend. The comment is he or she is not a friend.
The person that you think is depressed is not a friend? Yeah, see, okay.
So it's really a change of character. Okay, because what happens when you're depressed, the structure of your brain literally changes and it's trying to find its way back.
Okay, wait, I have a question. They're not a friend, so they're not close to you at all, or they're like a relative or something? Because if it's someone you don't know, I'd find someone that they know and kind of tell them, look, I think that your friend is, something's wrong, maybe you need to talk to them. That would be my
So they're
non-therapist
saying, and I am not trying to help them because the energy they provide can be draining. And that's true. They can be very, very, very draining. And
Yes.
it just depends if you want to. The thing is a lot of part of depression is the misconception that they can do something about it. And it's my job to deal with them, not my willingness.
Okay. اللي أنا فهمته الحين, obviously correct us if I'm wrong, but أنا فهمته الحين, so there's a person that's around you that seems to be depressed constantly, but they're not your friend, and you kind of don't want to so maybe like a work colleague or something, and you're kind of stuck dealing with their depression.
It's my job to deal with them. Yeah.
I would assume their job as
Then my advice for you, if your job is to deal with depressed people, like my job is to deal with depressed people, they're not a friend. Although it's my willingness, but I'm not forced to do it.
Oh no, bingo, I was right. It's like a work colleague. Thank you. 1-0.
Would be
that's hard to if it
self-care.
is a work colleague, then what?
Self-care.
شلون يعني?
You won't change them. You won't change the depressed person, but you need to focus on not becoming drained.
Okay, but if I'm مثلا working with someone that's constantly like that, they're always with me, how? They're not my friend. I have nothing to do with them. I may not even like them, but their energy is now draining me. What do I do?
So you protect your energy.
How?
So this is you. You exercise, you meditate, you do stuff, you do art, you protect yourself. It's just like how I need to protect myself.
Yeah, but if I'm going to the office, I like this question. If I'm going to the office, facing someone for 8 to 10 hours a day that just gives off this negative energy, then
You block that negative energy.
How do you block it?
By taking care of yourself. Ask me a question better so I can answer it better.
Ask her a question better, person. I like your question.
Like you. No, you ask so I can answer it better. So if you mean so how I don't...
No, يعني مثلا I'm sitting at work. I have someone I face 8 hours a day who's really negative, who drains me. Fine, I can go and exercise and stuff, but in those 8 hours that I'm with that person, I don't want to deal with them because it's just mind-numbingly sad or depressing, or as the person said, like it gives off negative energy and stuff. How you can't block them, you have to deal with them. What else can you do?
You have to deal with them, so you don't block them. How tall is the castle job? Very well said. One person told me you should look at yourself as a castle. How tall is the castle door?
I said very tall.
He said,
but if the doors were low.
And now we're just waiting for the answer.
Yeah, now we're just waiting for you. Now pause.
Yes, look, depressed people do become very pessimistic. Do see things very irrationally. Their logic is very not there, okay? If it was, then they'll be more realistic. They'll be able to push themselves out. The thing is, when you have someone that is depressed and you're working with them, or you just have to work with them because you have to learn how to protect yourself, because you won't be able to change their mind in a conversation, especially if you're a colleague and the trust is not there. You will not make them not depressed, okay? You need to figure out, how can I communicate with them in a way that doesn't drain me?
I'd also say from a work, like from an HR point of view, I work in HR. From an HR point of view, I would raise it maybe to HR also, because as Iman said, this person may depress and not realize, or be in a really like extreme, and you're noticing because you deal with them and no one else around them is. So maybe also raise it either to HR or manager, just as a kind of guidance that you think something is going on with this person. You might end up helping them out, not realizing. No.
Yeah, and the thing is, so I know I keep saying self-care, 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 self-care. The thing is, this goes with everyone. If someone is anxious, they can make you anxious. If someone is depressed, you can become depressed. Not depressed, but you'll feel drained. If someone is, you go to a funeral, you come back so tired, you know?
All the sadness around you makes you feel sad.
And all of that. Even if you don't know the person, suddenly you come out in a low, on a low, you know? And because you just went to support your friend and you don't even know the person that passed away, so you're not really grieving at all. But the idea is, when I know how to allow you, your thoughts creates your emotions. You might be drained of energy, okay? But if I keep thinking these thoughts of negativity, of how the energy is, just like you drain your energy, you can gain your energy. Okay, you need to up your energy. Okay. You need to block these kind of comments that will push you low. You need to understand what triggers actually affect you personally and drains you even more.
Okay, but then
and keep conversation very superficial with them. Do what you only need to do with them and nothing more.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. When we invest ourselves, we get drained. Okay, and I'll do that for a friend, I'll do that for a family, I do it for all my clients, I do it for people that call me. Yes, okay, but I'm willing. Yes. And if you aren't,
and you're trained to do it, so you kind of know the signs and know what to say and what to do, different than just
the worst thing you can do is sit to someone depressed and get into their lives and become them in your mind and try to understand what they're going through by putting yourself in their shoe. Never put yourself in their shoe. It's not your shoe. Don't do that. Okay? You will feel depressed yourself too.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you think the same thoughts, you will get the same emotions leading you to the same behaviors. Okay?
Just like.
Yeah. So he's saying that he really does put himself in that other person's shoe, and that's what's draining.
Which is what's making you feel then, obviously very draining.
This is the idea. Your limbic brain, which is your emotional brain, works faster than your conscious brain. Okay? You hear me say this all the time. Your limbic brain, emotional brain, is faster than your conscious brain. So you feel before you can then rationalize those feelings. Okay, so you feel sad, then you know you're sad.
And that's why you act on impulse, some people.
Yeah, and then you think you're happy. So you feel first. So you feel. And then suddenly what happens is when that limbic brain cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination, then you're emotionally reacting to it before you can logically get yourself out of it.
Okay.
This is why when you remember something that is sad, you become sad. Or let a friend anger you.
Or you want to watch a movie.
And then you
get so distracted into the movie and you absorb it and you cry and you...
As if it's real.
You cry as if the person that just died on TV was real and they're not, and you feel... Like I've walked out of movies going, I felt so depressed from some movies. And it's like, but that wasn't real. None of it was real.
None of this is real. It's because your mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. Yeah. Whether imagination is a memory or what you predict in the future. And so when you put yourself in someone's shoes, you're becoming them. This is what you're telling your mind to become and think like. And therefore you will get their emotions that they feel like, because you have the same thought that led to that emotions, which then gives you that behavior of feeling drained. You feel lazy. You don't get yourself up, so you feel even lazier, and you think of all these things, and then all of that goes blah.
Okay, so then if you feel depressed, you start with yourself, as Iman said. So with the nutrition and the exercise. Even if
you feel sad.
Yeah, or if you feel sad. So
a good way to feel better is, instead of distracting yourself, eat right, exercise, meditate, and do mental stuff. So whether it's you do it mental stuff like you do a Sudoku.
I was just gonna say like crosswords and stuff. Oh, okay. Actual
You need
mental
to strengthen
kind of
your
thing.
mind.
Okay.
Okay. It's not a distraction as if because I'm not doing something else technically, but I need to strengthen my mind so that when I need to get out of a certain thought and I'm aware of that thought happening, I need to get out of it. I have the strength to do. A lot of people don't. And this is why they fall into it. They know their thoughts are illogical. Imagine someone that has a phobia. They know it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
You being scared of a cat does not make sense. But you can do all the logic that you want, you'll still feel scared.
Yes.
And when you
I know
see a
someone who's
cat, you
actually
can't...
petrified of cats.
You can't get yourself out of it though.
Yeah.
You can't get yourself to say no because you keep going back in.
Okay, and
And,
how does this
because
link?
that's the mental strength I'm telling you get from exercise, you get from
I
yoga,
see.
you get from
Okay.
meditation, you get
Okay.
from doing Sudoku or crossword puzzle. You
And
know?
then talk to someone. Really talking helps though.
Talks helps a lot.
Especially go to people that are professionally trained to actually listen to you.
We are social beings. This is why number one cause of death in the world, okay, is not smoking. Number one cause of death in the world right now is loneliness.
Really?
Number one cause. It affects your health. People get so not only loneliness, not as in you might commit suicide in that aspect, but actually physically, biologically kills you.
Oh,
More than smoking.
Wow. You've just promoted smoking to everyone.
More than smoking. So it's very important, very, very important to understand that. So when you do give an ear to someone, when you are listening to someone and you're validating those feelings, that alone does the world. With no solutions.
Okay.
With no solutions, without giving any solution and advice and because when you give advice and solutions, you're not listening. You're too busy in your mind trying to think of ways to get them out.
Okay.
When you're listening, you're just there with them and you validate what they say. Okay? So you show them that you understand what they're saying. Okay? When someone has a broken leg, you don't tell them, you'll get over it.
No.
You take them to the hospital and they have to fix it, and it takes weeks till it heals.
Physiotherapy, right?
Okay, we need to have the same patience when it's our mental and mind.
As you said though, when you started this, culturally or kind of we're not adapt to dealing with sadness. We're not allowed to have these kind of...
Not culturally, it's worldwide.
Oh, it's worldwide.
And if someone cries, the first thing you want to do is just make him stop crying. If someone is angry, you want to calm him down. If someone is scared, you want him to be okay. If someone is hurting, you want them to feel okay. That includes your kids. Okay.
I was just gonna ask about the correlation of that with kids.
They lose something, you buy them another. Don't worry, Mama, I'll get you another. Okay, he's sad because of losing the first or breaking the first or something happened to the first. Allow him to be sad about that.
Why?
So then he learns that if he loses something bigger and greater, what do they need to do in the future? These are skills that they learn. When we replace, then I feel like I need to replace everything. They can't replace everything in life.
That's the same with the kids. You know, at school now, if they have sports and stuff, everyone is a winner. I don't think that's preparing them for life.
No, that's not preparing them for
Yeah,
life.
not everyone is a winner, Tara. Hello, real world. I think that's really bad.
Yeah. That's another topic,
Yeah, maybe
okay?
next time.
So that's sadness and depression. So thank you everyone for watching us. Thank you so much.
Please send Iman comments after, especially the people that are not watching this live for later, of like things that you think are going well, not going well, because this is tajruba. And Iman's just bringing me here just to have someone to talk to rather than talking to herself on Snap. So you need to let us know kind of what you want to see more of.
And what direction we should go next.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what are the different types of depression? Okay, I just got a question. I'm going to answer it very, very quickly. Okay. Depression, I don't want to say there are types of depression because the minute you categorize yourself under a certain type of depression, you go under a stereotype. Okay. I want to say sadness and depression. And sadness is small amount of time, where depression is a longer period of time. Sadness is where you can pick yourself up and you can do different things to help you cope, where depression is it's so much harder to cope. Okay. And so if you just feel very bad for a long period of time, that it hurts so much that you suddenly kind of feel numb to the world, you're depressed. If you cannot sleep, you're depressed. if you sleep, because lack of sleep causes depression. So if you were very sad and you just didn't sleep for a couple of days, that's you're not allowing your mind to reset.
Okay, but to add, I know we're done, but to add on his question, what about if you know why you're depressed? Does that help at all? Like some people don't know why they're depressed. But for example, if you've lost a loved one or you've broken up,
that's grieving.
That's just grieving.
That's
it's
grieving,
not
but you don't want people to get stuck in grieving.
Okay, that will then lead to depression. So you should, if there is an incident, you should mourn the incident and then not see that they come to you, I'm depressed because someone passed away kind of thing.
They can.
Okay.
They can. If they want direction, they want to understand, because that's what happens in therapy. You start understanding yourself better, your mind, your awareness, what's your thoughts, what you're doing. So, thank you everyone for watching us. Bye. See you next week.
Next week.
Hopefully the same time I'll update you. Thank you.